Good morning everyone, welcome to a new vlog. I'm vlogging on a Monday today, which is not something I usually do. I usually end up filming these vlogs later on in the week. Don't know why, just that's what's been happening. But today I woke up and I felt like I want to document today, I want to vlog today. Last week was just overall not a good week. I don't have any particular reason why, it's just, I don't know. I saw a tweet from Jessica Heish the other week, and I've just put it up on my screen so I can like say it properly as I read it to you. But I really related to it, and this is what I was feeling too. In fact, I'm gonna insert a screenshot over here where she says that she goes through somewhat pleasurable boredom to creative inspiration to creative mania, where you're like being overly productive and like, make all the things. Then it turns into an anxious mania, then anxiety, depression, grief party, depressed boredom, which turns into somewhat pleasurable boredom, repeat, like on and on. Yeah, highly relate to that. I have weeks where I just feel so low and don't get anything done, weeks where I enjoy the not having anything to do and not getting anything done, weeks where I just feel so creatively inspired and want to like make use of this time and you know, be doing things, working on my side hustles. Yeah, it's a unique, I don't know, it's exhausting. And I know that a lot of you are probably feeling this too, so I don't know if I don't know, you relate to that cycle at all. But yeah, last week I was definitely in the low point for sure, and I just found it like I couldn't snap out of it. The weekend helped. It helped having, you know, time off to do my own thing and to just do whatever I felt like, not being at work, which tells me that I probably should have taken like a mental health day off at some point last week. Probably would have really helped. But yeah, Friday, which was the day I vlogged last week, I was actually like feeling more accomplished because I was just finishing off the homepage, so you probably wouldn't have been able to tell in that vlog that I was having such a low week, but I was. I woke up today just feeling like so much better though. I've talked before about how I love Mondays because they're a fresh start of a new week, and I feel like this Monday in particular is like the epitome of why I love it, where I can be like, okay, that was last week was a low week, and I obviously need to work on the way I'm framing things in my brain, because just because I have one low day doesn't mean the whole week has to be like that. But that's like a separate issue. But yes, I want this Monday to be the start of a good week. So this morning I decided, as I woke up, checked the time, laying in bed, I was not going to pick up my phone and scroll social media, because I know that that is an unhealthy habit. I'm going to try this week to keep up with not checking before lunchtime, not like having a look, although I did just pull up Twitter to check out Jessica Heish's tweet, didn't I? So let me close that down right now before I go into my notifications. I went for a walk this morning. Let me insert some clips from the riverbed here in Valencia. It was a lot less busy today than it was on Saturday, which was the first day we were allowed out for a walk. Adults can go out between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. is when we're allowed to be out for exercise. They've got all these different time slots for different age groups and vulnerabilities to, you know, keep things split up. That was just great to start my day with a walk. I had a nice long walk, listening to a podcast. It's a podcast that I have talked to you about before, but I'm going to bring it up again because this was such a good episode. It was like just what I needed to hear today. You know, when you click play on something and like, I don't know, actually listen to it or watch it or whatever the medium is, read it, you're like, yes, this is what I needed to be seeing, hearing in this moment. It's an episode of the Deeper Life podcast, which is hosted by my friend Alexis, and in it she's interviewing another colleague of ours, Benjamin. He is, well, used to be a hypnotist, and he, on our team retreats, will lead meditation sessions. He actually works for our customer success team now. But yeah, he's a great guy with really good tips for mindfulness, and they're having a great conversation in this show about how you talk to yourself. They cover a lot of things like friendships as well, but the stuff about how you talk to yourself and how you frame things in your mind was like obviously what I really needed to hear today as I'm like setting out to try and have a good week. So yes, fantastic episode. It is episode 3, I believe. Benjamin and Alexis on turning your mind into an ally. So I'll leave a link to this episode in the description. I almost said show notes because we're talking about a podcast. If you feel like you could benefit from listening to that too, because it is super, super good. Anyway, Monday morning, turning on the computer to start work. Gonna start with the usual catch up, going through Slack and Basecamp, and also making my plan for the week. So because I sort of like wrapped up a project last week, and there's another one that's in its final stages too, that means this week I get to be starting a new project, and I feel excited about that today. So I'm going to dive in wireframing for a new page on our site, which I'll talk about later on when we get into it. But yeah, I'm going to make my plan for the week and set out to have a good one. Let's do this. Had a really successful session sitting outside wireframing using Concepts. That's the app for everyone who always asks, on my iPad, just for this new project that I'm going to be working on, a new page for our video training. So it's going to promote the upcoming live workshops and also any pre-recorded ones that we have there, as well as some of our like quick tips videos that are more technical tips and less strategy, which is what the workshops are. Yeah, right now it's just a plain like default page in WordPress that the team add to manually anytime there's a new workshop coming up. So obviously there's a lot we can do to improve the like user experience for our team in automating that, but also in like visually just making it look better. So yeah, I've got some ideas, which is cool. I love the wireframing process. I need to make another like updated video about it. I think I've said that before, but I really need to make that happen, because you start out like sketching what you already had in your head as the most obvious solution, and you're like, duh, yeah, this is probably what we're gonna go with, but then you force yourself to come up with other ideas. And yeah, through the process you discover things that maybe you didn't think of before. That's definitely what happened for me during this process, so that feels really good. I feel like it is like, well, it's nearly 1 o'clock now. I thought it was noon. I'm an hour behind. It's 1 o'clock on a Monday, and I've already had a win for the week in you know, getting this project kicked off, so that feels really good, and definitely helps along with my trying to make this a good week theme. I'm going to take a break now, do some personal email stuff, and then have lunch. And then when I come back this afternoon, I'm going to work on putting some of these designs into Figma. This is like a bit of a closer look at what my wireframes are looking like. I like to put a little, well, it's meant to be a star, but it ends up being a squiggle on the ones that I think I want to mock up on the computer and explore further on those ideas. So yeah, this is what we got. Good session. You're on the vlog, Corey.
Hey, it's Corey, the Corey that I work with, the developer that I work with.
You might have seen him.
I wanted to be heard.
You might have seen him in the chat when I do premieres or something. I don't know. This is Corey, everyone.
The best place to be. Welcome to Charlie Marie TV. Fade in intro.
Great, thank you. I have to report that I've started this afternoon to not feel great again, which is really frustrating because I feel like I've done everything right today and that I should be in a really good mood. I started the day off great, but yeah, it's slowly gone downhill, let's just say that. So my plan for the next half hour, because I only have half an hour left of my work day before my Spanish class, which is happening online, I am quite excited about that. That's gonna be fun. But I'm going to pick an album. This is my like pick me up, like what I do when I need to focus and get something done, but my brain just isn't in the right space for it. I pick an album that I know I love and like, you know, music that I'm gonna really enjoy listening to. And I set my forest timer that you've heard me talk about in many other videos. So I'm gonna set a timer right now for, I think I can only fit in 25 minutes before needing to go to Spanish class. So 25 minutes, I'm gonna play Enter Shikari's new album because I'm loving it recently. And let's see what I can get done. Okay, that turned out to be a good, productive last 25 minutes of the workday. I definitely didn't clock enough like working hours today as I would have liked to and as I was hoping to when I started the day off on a good note, but hey, I've moved forward with the project and I'm reminding myself that that's what's important. At the start of the day, I hadn't even started on this new training page, and now I've done some sketches. I've got 4 of my like favorite designs into Figma, and like more ideas have been coming from that, and thinking about how to structure the content of the page and what sort of experience we want to make. So you know, that's good. Want a little sneak peek of what we've got so far? Let me show you. So yeah, these are the 4 like options that I've done. When I'm moving from this, I have my iPad set beside me with the sketches on the screen. Moving from there to here, I'm super messy. Like, things are very off grid. If I turn on the grid, you can see like nothing is perfect. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just basically sketching in Figma here, but I'm getting the ideas out. So yeah, I'm really happy with where I've ended up. None of these are the winner yet, I don't think, but we've got plenty of different ideas. I know these all look very similar, but I promise you there is like big differences within how the content is organized in them. I guess this will be the next project that I'm walking you through in future vlogs when I get further in the design process. Yeah, it's going to be a page where it's got all of our, I don't know if I explained it already, it'll have all of our live upcoming workshops, as well as links to the pre-recorded ones that you can watch anytime. Some quick tip videos. Basically it's like a video training hub for our website, because we right now don't have that and it needs to exist. Anyway, it is 6:30, which means that I need to go and join my Spanish class, which means finding the link in my email and opening it and being on Zoom for 2 hours. That sounded really sassy. It is actually really fun to, like, I don't know, the teacher's really good. He makes you try and speak in Spanish, and I don't know, it helps you through mistakes and things like that, and it's just a really good teacher, and it's like a pleasure to learn from someone who's a good teacher, you know, when you do. I mean, I'm not a teacher, but I've taught workshops and stuff, and you really notice bad teaching when you've attempted to teach other people things, and you also really notice and appreciate good teaching, and yeah, my Spanish teacher is exceptionally good. So yeah, let me go and do that before I'm late. Spanish class over. That was really fun, as per usual. We were learning about the imperative. If anyone cares to know what stage I'm at, it is a very beginner stage. I feel like, I don't know, with Spanish, I can understand surprisingly a lot of it, considering, I don't know, everything. Like, I can understand a lot of Spanish, it's just that I have a really hard time speaking it, like pronouncing it, because I just don't have enough practice speaking it, and coming up with like the words in my head on the spot, if that makes sense. So like, you know, knowing how to say something without having to stop and think for ages about the word, which I have to do in English sometimes anyway, so it's even harder in Spanish. But yeah, that is the end of my day now. That is the end of this vlog. I have no idea if it was a much shorter one than usual. I have a feeling it was, but yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm a little disappointed. I thought that it was going to be a much more positive vlog than I think it ended up being, because yeah, just the afternoon really went downhill for me, unfortunately. But I'm going to try again tomorrow, because I don't want to let this be setting the tone of the whole week like it did last week. So I'm very determined. Tomorrow I'm going to get up, go for another walk, listen to a podcast. Oh, actually, Corey, who you just like met on camera before, I know you hear me talk about him all the time. He and his friend Kyle launched a new podcast called Commuteless that's all about remote work, which is obviously very, very relevant at this time. Both him and Kyle, the hosts, have been working remote for years. So yeah, they're gonna have a lot of good advice to give. I'm gonna listen to that tomorrow, I think, while I'm on my walk. I'm gonna leave a link to it in the show notes as well if you wanna check out his podcast. Good to support. And if, yeah, you're working from home, maybe for the first time during this quarantine, during the pandemic, then maybe you'll find some use in it. Yeah. All right, thank you for watching this vlog. I hope that it's been a good week for you, and I hope you have a good weekend, because it'll be the weekend by the time you're seeing this, and I will see you in the next vlog. Bye.